going to make work on some case studies or solve some of the questions for the coursework. The first question is: the researcher is investigating the prevalence of diabetes in a rural community. They need to select an appropriate sampling technique to ensure the study is representative of the population. Okay, they are talking about diabetes, and they want to select a proper sampling technique. So the first question they say: discuss the differences between probability and non-probability sampling and identify the most appropriate technique for the study. Okay, and then they say explain two types of probability sampling and two types probability non-probability sampling that the researchers could use, and how might the choice of sampling method impact generalizability of the findings. With regard to the probability and non-probability sampling, we can see this is the differences. Every population has a chance to be selected. You can check the details from here. Okay, for the difference between probability and non-probability sampling. For the second question, with regard to the two types, here said, which is the most appropriate method to use, because we are experiencing the prevalence, we are investigating. Yeah, we want to understand the reason why that diabetes is prevalent in that area. So I guess the most appropriate here to use probability sampling. Okay, this is the most appropriate. The second is because we have a large population, and we want to find the population there, what is going on. We want to generalize the results for the population. So the second point of the question is said, what are the most suitable sampling techniques that we can use? Okay, so I guess the suitable sampling technique we can use, here for probability sampling, we can use stratified to divide the population according to the characteristics to subgroups based on age, gender, socio-economic status. Okay, and then we can use systematic sampling by selecting for every 3 or 4 members of the population, we select one. For the non-probability sampling, we are going to use a purposive sampling, because we want to determine the criteria. Okay, and also we're going to use the quota. Okay, because we are going also to have different subgroups, and each subgroup we are going to collect a specific sample. This is with regard to the sampling techniques. And here, how might the choice of sampling method impact the generalizability of the result? You can stop the video and check the details from here. This is with regard to the first question. If we go to the second question, it's saying an education researcher wants to test whether students who receive personalized tutoring perform better than those who do not. Here you say identify and discuss the type of hypothesis that could be formulated for this study, and the 4 steps in hypothesis testing, and the 4 types of errors. This is simple. If we go to the types of hypothesis, this is the types of hypothesis that we can formulate. Okay, we can formulate a null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. Okay, this is the types mainly we can formulate for the study. The second point with regard to the steps in hypothesis testing, we can state the hypothesis and set the level of significance, choose the appropriate test, compute the test statistic, and then we make the decision and draw conclusion. For the last point with regard to the type of error, we have the type 1 error, where we reject the H0, and we have type 2 error, and type 3 error, and type 4 error. So you can check the details from here and from the previous videos for that is the solution for the second question.